So my session will be about 3D technologies in the industry, of course, and the productivity and the added value. First, I would like to start with a number that I got from Capgemini. 82% of companies that implemented AR and VR indicated that benefits yielded from their AR VR initiative meet or even exceed their expectations. So it really means that it's important, and the good thing is like this numbers is 2 years old, and 2 years ago the adoption of AR and VR was maybe only in the beginning in the industrial world. I will just tell you a few words about my company, Light and Shadows. I know the previous speaker, Malte. We worked with him, and I also know a bit of Innoactive, and it's a very good product. Light and Shadows is a French company. We're based near Paris, and we have 3 main expertise. The first one is rendering, around pre-calculated images, but also real time. We have an expertise in photorealistic rendering, using every rendering engine such as Unity or Unreal. Our second expertise is software, where we developed a custom app, especially in VR and AR. And at different skills, a different level of skills, so software optimization, creation of reusable assets, and UI and UX design methodologies. And our third expertise is hardware, where we also develop custom systems to connect both the virtual world and the real world, with some connected objects, with some advanced visualization systems such as holograms, for example. Some of our clients, Airbus, Alstom, groups, Dior, PSA, Renault, which means like we are making application using VR and AR in all verticals. So from big industries such as aircraft or spacecraft, to big industries in cosmetic, with Dior, for example, or L'Oreal, and automotive, but also with some smaller companies. So my first my first point is these images, and yes, cardboard prototyping is real, at least in France. I've been working in the past 4 years in Germany, and I haven't seen them, but in France we've seen this in some companies, and people feel the need to replicate what they have in their mind at scale 1. Let's say I want to make a prototype of a new workstation for my factory, and in France we've seen that people using cardboard to make level 1, scale 1 prototype. So yeah, it's good. You can visualize it pretty much at scale 1. It's nice. But if you make a mistake in your prototype and if you need to change it, you need to destroy your first prototype and build another one. And that was our point when doing one of our software called Interact. Was okay, giving the opportunity to people to making a prototype and redoing it again and again and again, and making mistake without using any cardboard anymore. So basically you can use VR and AR and 3D technologies more in general, with a lot of purposes. So from training to prototyping, maintenance, simulation, design review, ergonomics analysis. We have really today plenty of use cases where 3D technologies applies and really bring productivity, scalability, and added value to an existing or pre-existing process. I will illustrate with one use case first. Renault. So sorry for not being there with you guys, but my client, so Renault, should have been able also to come with me if we were able to travel and go to Frankfurt. So I'm gonna still talk about his use case. They have a challenge, which was they needed to train employee on very specific assembly scenario. And especially for a car from the Renault line Twizy. Twizy is a very special car. It's a small car meant to be only a city car. I think you can be only 2 person maximum inside it, maybe 1. I don't remember exactly. And they really need to have a very step-by-step process to build this car through the underbody, through the bodywork, into the interior of the car. And what they really needed was an extreme precision to check the collision between 2 parts, especially when they were working on the structure of the seat, which is one of the most specific example where it's hard for the employee to have this in virtual reality. So using our software Interact, and I'm going to show you the process in this video, we built a training scenarios where the worker is actually immersed in virtual reality and can see everything and has information in his headset step by step. So our software Interact allows the scenarization of very complex procedure representative of the real industrial training activity. What's important is having a faithful visualization and modeling of the vehicle. And as with the cardboard stuff, having a one-to-one scale to be able to really have the impression of working on a real car. As you can see here on the screen, I hope you can see every small red arrows indicates a collision between 2 parts. So either between the hand of the user or between 2 specific parts. So here we are going into the most complicated parts of the assembly of the car, which is the assembly of the seat. So as you can see, the user know which part he needs to use and where he needs to put it. That's done inside our software, and it indicates him every collision. So all the red arrows that you see, okay, there is a collision, and each time there is a collision means that the virtual part won't fit. So the learners are actually immersed in their virtual environments. They can make mistakes and they can instantly redo the scenario as much as they need to do it without wasting any materials. Because if you have to do this in real life, you waste materials and you can just like maybe redo like 3 steps before. You just can't do that right now, which is possible in virtual reality. So all the elements within this platform have been carefully thought out for the purpose of providing a very close to the reality experience and a better understanding of the procedure and of the task to reduce the complexity of the task for each operators. So as you can see here, it becomes more complicated to assemble all the car together. So that's it for this example. And that's why I'm saying let's the era of virtual prototyping rise up. I think you often hear the word factory 4.0 and digital twin, and that's really where it applies, because those are only a few examples. On the top left, you can see an example of using virtual reality in architecture. So simulate a building construction, making sure that it's in phase with plans. So using 3D point cloud to match if every windows, for example, this very complex building are right in place. You can use it in the automotive industry for design review, for example, or prototyping of a new car. On the left as well, you have an example in the building industry in a tunnel to check with a 3D scan if the excavation process of a tunnel is at the right point, or if you need to spray more concrete to make the tunnel work better. So to sum up a bit what I just showed you, with accurate simulation, you can anticipate mistakes. It makes you save time, complete project faster, and thus gain productivity. Another example of productivity gain, this is a work we did for Plastic Omnium, which is the manufacturer of those tank tubes where you insert gas in your car. In this example, they used to print in 3D all the tubes and check manually every gas gun to see if it fits or if it doesn't fit in the tube. So you can imagine that this process takes a lot of time, and that if your 3D design is wrong, then you have to print another one and to test it with 120 different guns. With our software, they were able to detect the collision between the gas gun and the tank, and thus you can do it automatically. You just can test your design online and gain a lot of time and save a lot of materials as well, because you don't have to print it in 3D. Another added value is that it's human-centered. And that's something that's not often talked about when we talk about VR and AR. But using VR and AR in an industrial use case, you usually always put back the human in the center of your experience. And when I say human, I mean every human. It can mean management, because middle management, top management, they have strategies. They want to implement maybe new idea for a new workstation to improve the productivity. But those who in the past were often forgotten were the real operators. If you want to make an ergonomic analysis, for example, of a workstation, then you need the operators to do the work and to test if a gesture is harming his health on the long term. And you really include them in the decision-making process, because using virtual reality, they are the one who knows the work, they do the tests, and you can really improve their work condition on a global level. Let me just show you an example. This is an example of a L'Oreal factory ergonomic analysis, still using our software. We equipped the worker with some Vive trackers here on the back, on the knees, on the foot, and on the head and on the elbow as well. And you get instantly a ruler quotation of a specific gesture, if it's harming the people or not on the long term. Everything of this quotation and ergonomics analysis is made with our physics engine that is integrated in our software. And using this, you can actually design better workplace, better workstation. You can improve the process of production, and it's at the same time good for the employee because the gestures are better. And if the gestures are better, they have less risk of having injuries or musculoskeletal injuries as well. And they will probably be more often at work, and you will spare money all over the place. Another and maybe last example would be this scenarios as well that we did for another company that will help logistic people to furnish the development of the factory for the specific action of kitting. So we can replicate and have a digital twin of the warehouse where people need to go and pick their materials to work. This can be used to train people, to improve the way you build your warehouse, and to improve all the process around the kitting. You can have it in VR or in augmented reality, so you really help all the person and all the stakeholders involved in this process. And that's it for me. My goal was to give you some examples, some use cases, and to maybe not prove to you, because I'm sure you're all convinced if you are attending this conference that XR technologies are really good for every company. So thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed that. And if you have any question, I'd be glad to answer them.
Thank you, Jordane.